All right, let's talk about Kawhi Leonard. 18 points in the fourth quarter alone to beat Utah last night, and the initials M and J keep coming up around him. Member Doc Rivers fined $50,000 for comparing Kawhi physically to MJ last May. That was back when Kawhi was a Raptor. This is Kawhi last night.
Everyone looks up to, just from a competitive standpoint, how he approached every game. And, you just try to, nitpick what you could take from him and, bring it into yourself.
Again, I want to point out that Kawhi was asked about the MJ comparison. He did not make the MJ comparison on his own. And we're talking really about sort of, this physical sort of body, and then also what pieces he's taken from Jordan. Do you think it's a good comp? Or?
Yeah, I do in this respect. And I think this is what Doc Rivers was talking about last spring. We forget that Jordan is such this larger-than-life icon, and when we think of him game-winning shots against Utah in '98 over Craig Elo, taking off from the foul line. You forget that on a Wednesday night in February, who was Michael Jordan, and he was a guy who dominated a one-on-one matchup on both ends of the floor with his physicality and his mental prowess. Like when you watch Kawhi sort of hold the ball in a slow-it-down half court, it is very reminiscent in that respect. I am not putting Kawhi Leonard on Michael Jordan's pedestal, but I just think as in possession basketball, when you watch him work, it's almost a throwback early mid-90s game, and just watching sort of the chess match that Jordan used to play. I mean, Kobe had a little bit of
Well, that's what I was going to say. So Kobe emulated, he wanted to be Michael Jordan, right? And he emulated that in his shot making and his opportunism during games. Kawhi's kind of emulating the other side.
Yes, defense. But yeah, when people say maybe Kobe, I sort of say efficiency, because Kawhi and Michael Jordan are better efficiently. But yeah, it's two sides of it. It's offensively what Kawhi is able to do, and defensively what he's able to do. Everyone knows, I think there's a small class of people that are defensive players of the year and finals MVP. Kawhi, Jordan, and maybe it's Kareem. We have to check that with our producers. But Hakeem was MVP for the season and defensive player of the year. He's the last guy to do that. Precisely. You have to be so talented on both ends, and he's the new age version of that. But yeah, when you look at Kawhi, he plays with a slow tempo. So it's sort of like you can go back to those standard definition tapes and see the same mannerisms. He gets to his spots, the elbows, the corners, the mid-range, not drunk on the analysis of or the analytics of the three-point shot. That was a slower burn to his game. He added that maybe once he got to Toronto. It's like, I can knock down a three when I need to, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to get to my spot. And he's never rushed. That's why he's getting clutch.
See, you made a VHS reference. I made a gin and juice reference at the top of the show. Josh is in our studio today. He doesn't understand what any of those are.
He has no clue. He was born in '97.
The youngsters are having trouble with this show today. I want to get to that Timberwolves-Sixers matchup that we got, because both teams won on Saturday. Both teams without their all-star centers, Karl-Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid, were suspended for their fight last week. Now, they each have one game left on their suspension. I was excited because I thought they were playing again, but they're not playing until March 24th. Still, I want to know who had the better centerless win, because Philly was over Portland, Minnesota was over Washington.
Sorry, Washington. I have to rock with this Portland-Philly matchup just because they didn't take a lead into the, 4 seconds left or so. The shot was sort of kind of like Kawhi in that corner, came from an unknown face for Korkmaz. But I love that game just because it sort of reminded us that, okay, Philly has not been in the finals, Eastern Conference Finals, even since 2001. So now this is a team that's coming out with a purpose. They've had their heart broken. We all saw Joel Embiid's face as the playoffs ended, and this is a team that whoever's on the floor, and that's the good addition of having Al Horford. Whoever's on the floor, we are here to win. We play every second. Every shot is a good shot, because they learned that trying to go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah, and I talked about it earlier. I'm still going to stand by it. So far, the game of the year, and a couple things. We saw it just right there. Ben Simmons driving to the hole in a crucial situation, probably going to get hit, probably going to be put on the line, and calmly sinks 2 free throws. I don't want to put undue import on one possession, but I just think that's the kind of catalyzing play that can really make a difference. And then Korkmaz, this is a team. Well, where are they going to get shooting from? Who's going to be there? They don't have a Bellinelli or that kind of acquisition they made 2 years ago. Hey, there's a really big shooter who can come off a flare and do this kind of stuff.
Inside pivot.
We've got the confidence to execute a play like that. I just think this is one of those galvanizing wins for a team that, frankly, I think the two most interesting teams right now in basketball are the Sixers and the Lakers, in terms of narrative, in terms of sort of just tantalizing us with potential dramatic storylines. And to me, the Sixers are sort of coming off on the right foot. Last year they kind of, it was a little touch and go at the beginning, and I just think it's a really big win for them.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.